Okay, we are going to bring up Mr. Reuben Hernandez. Mr. Reuben Hernandez is the Vice President of Giant Bikes, a key sponsor of the Bahati Foundation. We'd like to invite Mr. Hernandez to please join me on the podium.
Good evening, guys. Listen, I'm not as good looking as Kate, but I'll do my best. So Ken asked me to share a few minutes with you guys, a little personal story about me and a little personal story about cycling. So I've been with Giant for just over 13 years now, and super honored to be here tonight, mainly because actually, a shout out to my daughter, 17 years old, high school, her first adult party, right? So exciting times. I wish I was in a party like this when I was 17. So in the late 80s, I was maybe a couple of years younger than my daughter Grace. When my family moved from the Philippines. So I was a teenager. There was 5 children in my family. And when I moved here, I didn't speak English, barely spoke English, right? I was born and raised in the Philippines. All my friends were there, all my schooling's always been there, and I didn't know anybody when I moved here, right? So it was really rough. Me and my 2 brothers in the same high school, we were joking back then that we basically increased the Filipino population by 300% that day. But I remember how tough it really was to leave where I grew up, right? But I knew that it was a big sacrifice for my parents because they knew that moving us to the United States was creating an opportunity for us to have a better education and just a better life than where we were. So what do, right? I practiced how to speak English because I wanted to make sure that my life was better as my parents wanted it to be. I graduated with solid grades, but the really hard part with school was fine, right? You got through it, but the really hard part for me, coming from a foreign country, was how to integrate with the US culture. How to make friends in the States, knowing that I barely spoke English, didn't really know what the lifestyle was with the United States. So I thought, well, what do I love that could be something that everybody else might be in common here? And I thought, well, I love basketball, right? And by the way, the Lakers and the Celtics are in overtime right now. So, sorry, I lost. Sorry. But basketball was one of those sports that you just grabbed the ball, you went to the court, and everybody welcomed you, right? I mean, I was never going to play a center. Let's face it, right? But anytime I went out there, it was just like everybody was friends, which was great. So that made it a little easier. The second sport that I really loved was cycling. Right? Cycling, just like basketball, was one of those sports where everybody was welcoming. It didn't matter if you were fast or you were slow. It didn't matter if you had a brand new bike or an old bike, or even what color bike you were riding, right? If you just showed up in the park with your friends, you guys were going riding, and you may not come back until the street lights are on, right? Back in the day. So I thought, well, that was really one of those activities where it did, again, told me that life on a bike can be really simple, but really, a life-changing experience for me at the time, right? Because I got to meet a lot of friends that I'm still really good friends up to today. And working with Giant, it's all about bikes, right? You can ride bikes and you have good friends in the industry, and it never stops. Anywhere you go, there's always somebody there that you can go ride a bike with. So fast forward to today, I've been fortunate enough to have this opportunity to work and play in our industry. right? An industry that fosters a very welcoming environment. And we all get to be part of the work that continues to find more ways to bring others into our sport. Whether it's for fitness, therapy, casual riding, or in my case, it was a chance for people to welcome me into their community, welcome me to their family, and really just be just a cyclist and have fun and make your life better. So speaking of that involvement in cycling, the Giant and our sister brand Live, for those of you guys know that we have another brand for Live, yes, thank you. We've been supporters of the Bahati Foundation's Motion Equals Healthy Bike giveaway. Yeah. For several years now, we've been part of the donation where we provide bikes and gear and accessories at their event. I was able to attend, I think this is the 5th year now in 2022, I was able to attend the December event. And this past year, we stepped up big time. We provided 200 bikes this year. Yes, thanks to our Giant team. And again, coming from where I came from and where I am now and seeing how bikes have changed my life, I can't say enough about how special that day was for me to see so many of the inner city kids getting a bike for the first time. How special it was for me, even personally, for them to get a bike for the first time, learn how to ride a bike that first day, and really enjoy and understand what a bike can do for their life. So without further ado, let's go watch this video of how that event happened. Take it. Maybe we don't.
I'm a true believer that the bike transcends your life, no matter where you come from. No matter what you look like, geographically where you're from, doesn't matter. Most of my thoughts and ideas come from riding, just getting out and riding by myself, not with a group, just me and the bike in nature. My name is Reuben, and I live in Los Angeles, California. I was introduced to cycling by my 6th grade teacher, Reuben. I've been on a bike racing more than half my life, 21 years. Raced all around the world. I've won every major crit you can name in the U.S. The Bahati Foundation, Bahati is my last name, of course, it means good fortune in Swahili. We're about improving the lives of young people, from all walks of life. We're working with kids in the hood that are moving around a lot. We teach kids on bike safety, bike maintenance, health and wellness. We donate bikes to kids every holiday with our generous sponsor, Giant Bicycles. But at the end of the day, it's all about education, music, and sports. Those are the 3 things that changed my life.
So before